think me and Steve were just chatting about his section and we floated the idea of the ski village.
Which is like burnt down and derelict, and so we had this idea of building a custom track there.
I kind of didn't believe it was going to happen really. I mean, looking at it, it was literally just neck-high grass, scrap everywhere, just a tip at the bottom. Not the easiest place to build anything for mountain biking.
Welcome.
There's such a good riding community in Sheffield, and there is people like Bike Track and Steve, and he's got so many contacts, and John Dallow at Sheffield Council. There's all these people that were just willing to help, and without them, there's no way it'd have happened.
Trying to achieve a dirt landing on top of a metal container.
Going from walking the line when it was just a derelict, burnt out ski village to actually getting there the week before we started filming and seeing the line that was built, it was a pretty big transformation. Seeing Steve on sort of those, you know, berms and whoops and fast jumps and stuff, you know, he started to like whip everything out, and we were just like where does all this come from? It was like pretty sick.
Oh my fucking God, bro.
You couldn't build a gnarly downhill track, it just wasn't going to happen. There wasn't any rocks, roofs. You know, it was a flowy, fast track with a lot of jumps and berms, which isn't a thing you'd normally associate with Steve Peat. There was an old race series there called the Iron Justice series. It's like a classic local race series, and it roughly followed the line of that old race series for the first half. So anyone from, I don't know, old school Sheffield riding scene would probably be laughing.
I think the drone footage definitely dictated how it was filmed. The drone was like the main camera, and then we were like interspersing it with footage from on the ground. It was definitely different because we didn't have too many pans and zoom shots. A bit more of a cinematic style with Steve's.
There's no cuts allowed. I can't wait to start hyping up the crowd as I knife through the maze, heading right to the stage. I'ma serve up the mic like a rice bolognese, smoking hot like molten rock.
This place has got a few names: Mini Whistler, Warncouver. We're actually in Warncliffe Woods, and it's the summer solstice bash from the guys. Play Spades. They've been building in here for quite a few years now, as you can tell. All trails of mint, loads of jumps.
And I get so funky, you can hold your nose. So if you wanna come see me rip it again, you better come now or you won't get in.
Steve's now like legend status in the sport. You know, he's done his 21 years on the World Cup circuit. You know, his section was more than just about the action, it was about the location and just the whole community vibe, like the Warncliffe stuff that you see that's outside of the ski village. That was all, you know, shot in a couple of days, wasn't it? And the Warncliffe scene's kind of blown up over the last few years. He's always ridden in Warncliffe his whole life, everyone knows that, and him joining up with them for that section, and during the summer solstice when everyone kind of turns up for like a big riding session over the weekend and doing those big trains through, you know, his home trails, that was cool.
I've been riding in Warncliffe Woods for nearly 30 years now, and it's pretty rare that I just come in for a fun day like this and do trains and run the gauntlet on little tracks like this and just play around on your bike, which is what it's all about, where it all started for me.
Finally, when we were putting Steve's segment together, the big job then is to find a song which kind of matches and does justice to, you know, to the segment. In the end, we were like, let's try and get an Arctic Monkeys song.
In Steve's intro, off the bike, we shot this scene in this slightly grim street in Sheffield.
So here we are in sunny Sheffield.
Where's your tool, mate?
I don't need a fucking tool, mate. I've got some fucking tools.
Two of Steve's mates, who are actually two of the nicest guys you'll meet, but they look pretty hardcore in that opening scene. At the start of the Arctic Monkeys song, it says, last night these two bouncers, one of them was alright, and one of them was scary, and it cuts to like Berg and Dell looking scary, and it was just, I was like, that's it. If we get this, it'll be the best thing ever.
We couldn't believe it when they came back and said that they were, you know, we're happy for you to use the song. The fact that the segment was filmed in Sheffield with Steve, who's born and raised in Sheffield, and we've got the Arctic Monkeys, who are also from Sheffield. Like, I don't know, that's the dream, isn't it?
I'd never been to Madeira, always wanted to go, but I know Aaron and Loic had been there a couple of times each.
Freeride Madeira have got such a good relationship with like the government out there and landowners. They are in a position where they can like sort out one-off tracks for projects like Gamble and Death Grip.
So I'd seen some photos and video from like Aaron when they were out there scoping and doing the initial build. It's always hard to kind of like fully get an idea of what's going on, but you could tell that Nicky and the guys had just gone to town trying to create lots of kind of jumps, berms, whoops, all this kind of stuff that's not typically associated with Madeira, right above Funchal, and the view was ridiculous. You know, you could see the city, the ocean.
Well, I think it's awesome. Dreamline come true. Lots of good features, amazing dirt, amazing scenery, amazing hill. Nicky here mastering the plan, and let's see what we come up with.
Yeah, there's some natural features that we're going to make the most of. A couple of BMX style jumps here and there as well. Should be quite interesting, I think.
Yeah, Loic was always keen to come out and help with the build, because it was like sandwiched just before World Champs. It was kind of a bit like, weren't sure whether he was going to be able to come out. But in the end, he was so keen to come, so he made it happen. It was like 6 days or 5 or 6 days of building, and Loic was there for 2. I guess Loic's main input was kind of the direction that the track was going to take and what features he wanted and where.
Nicky did a really good job on
Cheers, mate.
yeah, on the digging, and some stuff looked pretty big, but we'll send it, you know, and the dirt is good and it looks pretty fun, so good day.
Nicky, not only is he like a talented track builder, he's also a sick rider, and I think that helps a lot. If you're going to design a track for someone like Loic, you kind of need to have an idea of what speed and how hard he's going to hit things, because if you build things too small, he's obviously just not going to be able to go 100%, which is what we were after.
Yeah, Loic was really motivated, and from day 1 to day 6 he was like no complaining, just walking up every time. The track was definitely a contrast of 2 different styles. We had the top, which was machine built, lots of berms and whoops and big jumps. The bottom part of the track was hand built by the Freeride Madeira guys, and none of us were expecting it, but it ended up actually being just the icing on the cake for the track, and it just offered something a little bit different.
It almost looked like a freeride film in a way. It was like Kamloops or something, like New Order Disorder days. And every night we had that golden hour thing, that stupidly red. I mean, everyone keeps asking like, oh, that colour in Loic section at the end, what did you do? And it's like, barely touched it. It was literally red every night.
We put everything into it, you know, going out and building the track beforehand. So we wanted like the best crew as well. So we went out with Chris Seeger, Tom Kirkman on the drone, Duncan Philpott, the photo whiz.
It was definitely cool to have Duncan there. Like, I think he deserves some props. Like, him and Boris were like at the majority of the shoots, and the images he got, it's just full catalogue on it. As small as Madeira is, it's got a real good riding community, and John managed to get me and Aaron on kind of like the national TV news. We popped up on it and they'd done an interview with us. We were thinking, oh, I'll be on it for 20 seconds and, you know, it'll be one of them quick fire things. And the next night it pops up on the, you know, full national news. It was like a 5-minute segment, and it was quite a big thing for Madeira, I guess. The rest of the week we were kind of shooting, and you'd get these little crowds of people driving in to come watch, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, so from the first meeting with the Freeride Madeira guys, they were keen on the project, but they definitely wanted to make sure that the track that was built was able to be ridden and enjoyed by everyone else afterwards as well. I'm pretty proud of the fact that there's a track in Madeira that we went out and built that, you know, everyone can go and ride.
We couldn't have really done it without the Freeride Madeira guys. They were just fully accommodating from the start, going out of their way, like John, Antonio and all the other boys. I think that's the theme that's been throughout the whole shooting of Gamble, was everywhere we've gone there's been rad locals that have just been so accommodating and helpful, and it kind of makes it really.